So I just found a crazy stat, okay, on the internet. They say motorcycles make up 3% of vehicles in the US, but nearly 15% of traffic deaths. That's ridiculous. And if you ride a sport bike like I do, that number can be even worse. Not just motorcycles, sport bikes, okay? Usually the ones dying out here. So why is sport bike riders the ones getting killed constantly? And what can we actually do about it? I'm J-Rod, and I've been riding sport bikes for 2 years now, so I'm still kind of considered a rookie. But safety is pretty important to me when it comes to these bikes and the people I ride with. You know, and these bikes are incredible. The power, the precision, the feeling you get when you lean into a corner, you know, there's nothing like it. It's also one of the most high-risk ways of traveling anywhere on a highway, especially. I've had close calls. You know, I know people that died. Luckily, I haven't had any people die on a bike yet, but it is such a dangerous thing. And that's why I want to dig into why these fatal crash stats are so high and how we can stay alive and keep riding, you know, when we want. These bikes, these sport bikes are getting more powerful and more popular every year. And so many new people jumped into the sport bike world during COVID, skipping proper training. And that's really when I jumped in. I really made my mind up that I was getting a bike, okay? When you skip that training though, you put yourself at risk for being self-taught, which I'm self-taught how to ride a bike. Nobody taught me a thing. But it's such a dangerous time and you just don't realize it. Let's be honest, they all look cool as hell, majority of them. But they're also high performance machines that demand a lot of skill. And a lot of these people don't got the skill to be out here trying to, you know, weave through traffic or split lanes or trying to hit a wheelie. And it's just something that we really need to create a conversation on. And the elephant in the room here is speed. The average 600cc sport bike can go over 150 miles an hour. The average 1000cc bike over 180 or more. That is ridiculous. And that's the problem. We buy these bikes because it's fast. And sometimes our right hand on this throttle will write a check that our ass can't cash. Or our skill or physics at that. You know, and a lot of us, especially new riders, think it ain't gonna happen to me. Can't be me. But one bad decision at 120 miles an hour would be the end of it. It'll be no more second chances. It's curtains for you. You know, and that may not seem fast when it comes to the subject of motorcycles, but that is fast as hell. Another big factor for sport bike riders is group rides. And don't get me wrong, group rides fun, but it's also where, you know, where a lot of stuff goes sideways. You out here with 10 other people, one guy take off doing triple digit speed and you got this inexperienced guy in the back trying to keep up. Don't let it be in the twisties because he might be approaching a corner that's, you know, above his skill level and he not comfortable. He don't trust his tires. He not comfortable with that lean angle. That's how these crashes happen, bro. And we gotta be considerate of who we're riding with. You gotta think about the people you with, because if you don't, it'll be one of your friends. It'll be somebody you know crashing, hurting themselves. You also got these distracted drivers out here, which is something that you cannot control. So you gotta be riding so defensively. You gotta pay attention. You gotta make noise. You gotta be bright. You gotta be seen. You know, sport bikes are already smaller and slimmer, and we ride in blind spots when we don't even mean to. And if somebody changing lanes without checking, it's over. It's curtains. You can stick a fork in because you're done. Over 40% of fatal motorcycle crashes happen because somebody violated the riders right away. So it don't always have to be you. You know, it could be them sometimes. These helmet laws as well, all over the place in the US. And only 19 states require helmets for everybody. The rest either got partial laws or no laws at all. And when some of these states dropped the helmet laws, the deaths shot up. In Michigan, a perfect example. Before repealing the universal helmet law in 2012, about 14% of fatalities involved, riders with no helmet. And after they repealed the law, it turned to 60% from 14. So helmets matter a lot. And I know some people hate helmets, man. Especially these guys on these Harleys. They never have a helmet on. They'll wear a pair of sunglasses with a girl on the back and they off to the sunset. But, these helmets, they hot, heavy, you want to feel the wind. But helmets reduce the chance of dying in a crash by 37%. And they cut the risk of serious brain injury by 70%. I've seen helmets after crashes, cracked open. But that guy walked away. And that's what matters, is walking away. That piece of plastic and that foam is what saved him. That's what saved his head, his brains from being all over concrete. So helmets matter a lot. We also got riding under the influence, which is also a problem in cars. It don't always got to be you, like I said. But alcohol and sport bikes do not mix at all. And about 3 in 10 fatal crashes involve a rider or a driver that was over the legal limit. And you might think you're okay after a couple beers or a couple shots or whatever it is, but you are not. The reaction time is trash. I've made the mistake of drinking and riding one day. I was actually at a jiu-jitsu fight for one of my friends, and I drank a little too much. I wasn't drunk, but I've had enough. When I left, the first corner I came to from leaving the spot he was fighting at, I damn near fell off the bike. I almost fell off the bike, coming to a stop, turning right. And that was not an advanced maneuver at all, by far. That was the moment I realized, I'll never do this again, bro. Ever. It's too dangerous. And who knows? I got another 20 minutes to go home. Who knows what's going to happen in that time? Hopefully this wind wake me up. Hopefully this noise wake me up. Something, I don't know, but do not ride under the influence. One misjudged corner and it's over. Just don't ride drunk, don't ride buzzed, don't ride tipsy. Do not do it. It's not worth it. So what's being done to help, on the city's end, on the DOT's end, on the manufacturer's end, on the people who make the bike? These bikes are now, loaded with tech that's saving lives. You got ABS, traction control, and on some high-end bikes, you got cornering ABS and lean angle sensors. ABS can, stop the wheels from locking when you come into brake, because you can brake hard sometimes, which you need to. And you got traction control, which keep the rear tire from spinning out when you go on the throttle a little too much. And ABS alone can cut fatal crashes by 30%. And if you're buying a bike, make sure you get one with the rider aids, because it's worth it. You need all the help you can get, I promise you. Make sure that you do not get a bike without it, because that may be the difference between life and death, literally. Also, we got wearable airbags. They're expensive, but it's worth it. And they inflate in less than probably less than quarter of a second. I've seen these slow motion videos where these guys high siding off a bike. Boom, quick. And it's protecting the neck, spine, tailbone. They even got them for pants now. So your knee, shin, ankles, everything. And it's way cheaper than a hospital stay, hospital bill, or worse, a funeral bill. Better off getting that airbag than dealing with the ladder. Some states are switching out these steel guardrails as well for motorcycle friendly, which I don't even know what that means, but more motorcycle friendly guardrails. I don't know if that's a harder plastic, softer plastic. I have no clue. But every change matters. You also got them putting in high grip pavement around these curves where bikers are known to go down. Might be, it could be gravel right there, or the sign may not match what the corner is. It may not sound flashy, but it is saving lives, and that's what matters. We want to stay alive. We want to be able to go home. And not to mention training. It's solid beginner classes out here, but there's also advanced courses for experienced riders. And a lot of guys get the MSF and they give up. They don't go to another class. That's it. They just say, all right, I'm good. I know what I'm doing. That is just the basics to go out and ride legally. You want to take more advanced classes because you want to be able to get out of a tight spot if you need to. You'll learn emergency braking, evasive maneuvers, cornering techniques, handling wet roads, who knows what else. And many of these states offer discounts now for the classes, and insurance also drops the price because they want to incentivize you to take the class. It'll help you a lot. It'll help all of us a lot. But what can you do? That's the real question. Because the stats don't have to state as bad. And here's what I remind myself of every single time I ride. Every time I try to make sure I, think of these things. Always wear gear, helmet, gloves, jacket, boots. Keep your speed for the track and not the streets. Don't get sucked into peer pressure on group rides. Stay visible. Bright gear, good lighting. Don't try not to ride at night. Like, I try my best not to ride at night. And if I get caught in the dark, it's because I was on my way home. I just left a little too late. But I'm not leaving at nighttime. And make sure you stay out of blind spots, because that is probably the most dangerous thing to me, those blind spots. Never ride drunk or high, ever. And listen, I love sport bikes. I love the sound, the speed, the way they carve through corners. And the truth is, it's dangerous. I'm not saying don't ride fast at all. I'm just saying ride smart. You want to keep the freedom alive, but make sure you're here to ride another day. If this video made you think, if you got a riding buddy who need to hear it, share it, smash that like button, subscribe, drop a comment below about how long you've been riding, what bike you ride. Stay safe out there. I'll see you on the next ride.